The 1987 NFL strike was a conflict between the NFL Players Association and the owners of the NFL teams. The NFL Players Association wanted unrestricted free agency for the players. The owners did not want this because they would lose more money. In 1987, when a player's contract was over with one team, if they wanted to go to a new team, that new team had to compensate the old player's team. This made it harder for players to change teams, and it also cut into the amount of money a player could make. This is what the players set out to change during the 1987 NFL strike. The main focus of the 1987 strike was free agency. The players wanted unrestricted free agency and the owners did not. If there were no restrictions on free agency, then a player would be able to auction off his services to the highest bidder and make more money. This would increase the salaries of the players, and the owners would end up having to pay out more money. The players also wanted a bigger share of the revenue of the NFL, which was growing year by year. The owners wanted to keep the salaries from becoming larger than the revenue of the league, or else they would begin to lose money. The bottom line, it was all about money. Two games into the 1987 NFL season, the players went on strike and refused to play in their games. The owners, however, were prepared for this, and they hired replacement players. These players were either retired, recently cut, minor league players, or undrafted college players. The owners hired these players because as long as the games got played, they still received money from their TV contracts. The quality of play severely suffered, but the owners still got paid. Because the quality of play fell so sharply, some of these teams received nicknames such as the Spare Bears for the Chicago Bears and the Phony Niners for the San Francisco 49ers. Not all of the players decided to strike, and veterans such as Lawrence Taylor and Leonard Smith decided to continue playing. Others, such as Joe Montana and Lynn Swann, returned after a week or two of striking. Attendance also dropped in many towns such as Philadelphia, where only 4,074 people showed up to the Eagles game. The strike lasted 24 days until the Players Association, more specifically, players a part of the association, decided to return to work. The strike gave some of the replacement players the owners had hired a chance to make it in the NFL, or a chance to regain some past glory. Some of the replacement players capitalized on this opportunity, such as John Fourcade, who was a replacement quarterback for the Saints. The following season, he made the Saints roster and started for 24 games. Others, such as the Super Bowl winning coach of the Saints, Sean Payton, did not. He played for the Spare Bears as a quarterback and completely ruined his opportunity to be an NFL quarterback with an awful 3-game stint. Replacement players also got paid between $1,000 and $4,000, but more importantly, it gave them an opportunity to pursue their dreams to play in the NFL. The players' union and the owners failed to reach an agreement over the free agency dispute. However, since the players were not getting paid, after 24 days, the Players Association decided to return to work. The owners, however, forced them to miss the upcoming game so they would not receive another paycheck, and then all the original NFL players returned to work. Collectively, they have lost approximately $80 million in salaries over 3 weeks, and hadn't gained any ground in their struggle for free agency. Eventually, the players decided to take their matter to court instead of using the union. In 1988, a federal judge ruled that the NFL's rules about restricted free agency did in fact unlawfully restrict a player's rights to sell their labor. So in the end, the players did get what they wanted, although they went through a whole lot to get it. The 1987 NFL strike and the effects it had on the players, the owners, and the fans is important to review because the current collective bargaining agreement between the Owners and Players Association is set to expire after this current season in March 2011. Should the NFL and the Players Association not reach an agreement, then there could be a lockout, which would be the first stoppage in play since the 1987 strike. Seeing as history is always repeating itself, the Owners and Players Association will probably not reach an agreement, and NFL fans are looking at potentially no football in the 2011-2012 season. However, if the Players Association and NFL owners learn from the mistakes of their past, then they could avoid a potentially devastating situation for fans and players.